Welcome to our Ancestry.com virtual tutorial. So tonight I'm going to take you through the steps to get on Ancestry.com and give you some tips and tricks to start your genealogy project, since you may be finding yourself with some extra time on your hands. So I'm going to give an overview first, and then we'll dig into any questions and I'll do some model searching. So first of all, I do want to let you all know that we are now able to provide the Ancestry.com library edition at home to you while our physical location is closed. So you will be able to use the database just like you would in our library building, which is great because normally that is something you can only access from our physical location. So I'm really excited to show you how to get in and get started. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. So as I mentioned, we are providing access to the library edition of the North Shore or of Ancestry.com while our physical location is closed. So you will need to go through the North Shore website. So I will take you through those steps. It looks like this. First, you're going to click on Erie Sources, and then you will scroll, and then databases, and then you will scroll down to genealogy. Then it's going to take you to this page. You're going to want to click on North Shore. It will have you log in, so have your library card ready with your barcode number, and you will need to enter that as well as your PIN. So once you do that, you're going to get to the main page of Ancestry.com. So this is what it looks like right away when you log in. You're going to want to click this green button here that says begin searching. But I wanted to highlight some of these quick links for you at the bottom and on both the left and right. So you can see, I'll start with the right here. So you can see the census records. So those can be hugely powerful in your genealogy search. The census has a lot of data. The most recently available census is from 1940. And that's going to give you a lot of really good information about where your ancestors have lived, when they were living where, all that kind of stuff. So that's going to provide a really rich detail of information. These quick links below as well are really helpful, taking you right to document types. And I'll touch on this later, but sometimes the best way to start and the most effective searching strategies for genealogy research is actually looking by document type, because sometimes it hasn't been digitized and it might not turn up in your search. All right, so this is what that beginning search page looks like. As I mentioned, you're going to want to press that green button and that will take you here. So you're going to see a lot of those record types that I was just mentioning here along the right as well. Again, those can be hugely important and powerful in your search, so I want to highlight them again. And they're oftentimes a really good place to start is by clicking into these and going by record type. So you can see here they have it really nicely categorized to make it easy for you to get to the record type you need. But there is also this main search console that is also really powerful. And you're going to be able to pull up data by first and last name, some places that your ancestor might have lived, as well as birth year. And that's going to get you into, every record that is tagged with that data. All right, so now that I've given you an overview of what the search engine looks like, we're gonna start with some tips and tricks. So like I mentioned already a few times, but I think it's worth mentioning again because it's really important. Oftentimes you really do want to start with the record type and not name. And I pointed out to you, and I'll go back. So this section of Ancestry.com as well as this is going to get you to the record types. So that's a really good place to start. Tip 2, you want to start by putting in less. Less is more in this case. You're going to get more records by starting small and getting broad. And the reason for that is that not every record has every piece of information that you input. And so it's only going to catch records that have exactly the information you have inputted. So, for example, if you're searching for a woman who got married and changed her name, if you're searching, by not using using only her married name, you're going to miss all those records that have her maiden name. And if you put in all the spouse's information as well, you're not going to get those results that aren't pertaining to the spouse. So you really you want to start with less, and you also want to be mindful of what information you're putting in as it relates to the record type. So for example, if you're looking for a birth record, you're going to want to put that ancestor's parents' names in as opposed to their spouse. So things like that. All right, tip 3, wildcard searches. So wildcard searches allow you, they act as a substitute. And what they're going to do is they're going to make the character you put in stand for a variety of characters. So it's going to broaden your search. So for example, if you're not, some record, if you're looking for ancestors whose last name is Smith, some of those records might say Smith, some might say Smiths. And so using that wildcard character is gonna let you get all of those search results. Another example would be, someone whose name is William, and maybe they went by Will or Bill. So you can use that wildcard to get results with both Bill and Will. And sorry, I probably should have said this outright, but in Ancestry.com, the wildcard character is the star. It's a star character. All right. One other tip that is really effective is you want to start the most recent and work backwards. And this is so that you can get the most accurate information for your most modern relatives, and then you will have a better basis of information to keep looking backwards. It also is partly just because we have more records for the modern era in some cases, so you're going to find more, and that's going to give you more avenues to keep searching. As I mentioned, the 1940 is the most recent census available. So I personally, my advice would be to try to start by searching the 1940 census. All right, and our last trick or tip, and this actually doesn't have to do with using Ancestry.com, but to make your results from Ancestry.com the most useful they can be, you really want to be diligent about the information you have found and keeping track of that information and keeping it organized. So if you're creating electronic documents, naming those consistently so that they're easy to find, tracking, doing a family tree, those kinds of things can be really powerful for making your search more effective, and so that you can keep those results that you need. All right. So at this point, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Hello again. And I'm going to ask if you have any questions.